So, yes, we have this very, very, this moon that is so much about like on the inside of you, you got to do something to focus on your mind and your like the higher teachings that you're following. I will say Gemini is also a sign that has to do with relationships, peer relationships. So it could be bringing up topics around friends, siblings, cousins, co-workers, neighbors. For some people, it could be bringing up topics because you have to remember the full moon is all about illuminating something. So that is definitely something else that you could be thinking about with this full moon, or maybe it's bringing up those topics. And maybe it's like uh, there's some, it also could be bringing in the topic of forgiveness. Maybe one of those that I listed for you, there's some forgiveness that you need to bring in, um, or maybe you need to have more gratitude for them. And I'm just saying that because Jupiter is there in Gemini. Also, maybe you want to start sharing maybe you need some needs that you have from people in your life because the moon is all about what you need. And maybe you just need to hang out with them more. Maybe that's something that is coming up for you also in that regard. Gemini is also about business. And so, this full moon could be illuminating something for you around business. It could help you come up with maybe some ideas because Gemini is ideas. So maybe it's coming up with some ideas, or maybe this is a moon that would help you to come up with some social media content, or maybe maybe your social media plan is working. The full moon, you could be realizing some seed that you have sown has produced. So maybe there's some marketing you've been doing and it pays off. And it also is about networking. So maybe some networks will be revealed to some people. Now, this networking could be for anybody. Um, it's not just for business. It could be any type of networking that you might want to do, need to do, that kind of thing. Let's see here. I think that this moon is going to really and truly bring up some illusions. Now, in a way, it could bring in a lot of creativity for you because Neptune is involved. That's why I'm saying this. And Neptune in Pisces, this is high creativity. So it's like you can create something. It's like this creative download that can come to you. Maybe you'll create something in writing, or maybe you'll come up with like this beautiful way to um, market or something like that. But also, where have you been under an illusion of some sort? So that's something else that I think could be coming through. Let's see here. What else do I want to say about this moon? Okay, so it's on the 23rd degree. And pause it. I want to go back to one other thing. This full moon is also about conversations and talking. So it could be your internal conversations. It could be conversations that you're having with other people. And it could be like this tough conversation that needs to happen. But in the end, it can bring some deep understanding or something like that. Or it could bring some clarity. I actually mentioned this in my weekly video where I was talking about there was something that I had missed in communicating with somebody, and it just put me in a certain mood and mode that was not good, and I was just like so upset. And then I was like, "Oh, I missed this detail," and it totally changed the way I saw things. So I hope it's something like that. It's a mutable moon. What is this? Six planets in mutable signs on the day of the full moon. Gemini and the sun in Sagittarius, Saturn and Neptune in Pisces, Jupiter and the moon in Gemini. 6 planets in mutable signs. Mutability is changeable. So maybe this moon is going to help you to see how you need to change, where you need to change. And it will imbue you with the ability to change. And I think a lot of it is we need to change our mind on something. Just because this moon is uh, in Gemini, Gemini has to do with the mind. So yes, aren't they cute? Yes, yes, yes. Hi, Shannon. How are you? And it's Keita Mae's daughter. I said Keita Mae, but it's her daughter. Oh, okay, good. You saw that. Yes, yes, yes. Good. Okay. Um, so the moon is happening on the 23rd degree of Gemini. So the 23rd degree, first of all, that is we know that the moon is in Gemini, and then it's going to be also in Aquarius. Wow. So in astrology, I use degree theory. So this degree 23 is the first one is Gemini. The second one is is Aquarius. And it's just a technique I'm using. So don't even try to, it doesn't matter how I got to it. Just know it's an astrology technique that I'm using. So it's Gemini, it's Aquarius, and then it's let's see here, 1, 2, 3, Pisces. Oh, wow. So it has 3 energies in it. So what is Aquarius? Well, Aquarius is a sign that is, again, it's social. So maybe this moon is going to be also speaking to the collective mind. And just, maybe it's going to highlight what is on the mind of the collective. And it also could have something to do with technology, because both Gemini and Aquarius are techie signs. And so, maybe it's going to really highlight something around the internet or social media sites or something like that. And I mean, if I'm being honest, there's a lot about social media sites that I think are just not good. So I hope that it's going to be some revelation about like things that we need to know. But anywho, it could be hiding it because we do have all that energy in Pisces. Um, let's see here. But if we're looking at it on the personal level, then it definitely is like, again, kind of speaking to the power of using technology for business, or the power of using technology for uh, to just support your life. That's how I see technology. I once heard someone say technology should help to make our lives easier. And so maybe in some kind of way you're going to realize how much technology can help you. You know, I am into AI. I'm into Chat GPT. Let me tell y'all that. I'm into Chat GPT, Mid Journey. I want to name the AI that I'm using. And I can honestly say that that technology is helping me so much, because it takes away my need to think about every little detail. So maybe some people are going to kind of figure out, and maybe it's not Chat GPT. Maybe, there's some other technology um, that you could use, that might be helping to support your life. The moon will help with that. Um, uh, let's see here. The Aquarius it's all about making progress. And so maybe you're going to be able to see with this full moon, how do you need to make progress? So that's something that could be coming up also. And it's, Aquarius is also about the goals. So that's the second time that we see something about goals, because Sagittarius has to do with our goals. And it's kind of like futuristic thinking. And that is Aquarius, futuristic thinking. So maybe what you're going to be able to do is get more clarity around where you're headed. And it might be that you see you're making progress, but you need to know, like, what's the next step in making progress. Um, Aquarius has 2 planets in it, interestingly. We have Pluto there, so that's all about a transformation. And then we have Venus there, and she's actually, well, she's opposite Mars, but not exact. So I'm not going to mention that. But anywho, Venus is there, and Venus has to do with our values, and she has to do with our worth and relationships, um, even to a certain degree, our care and our well-being, how we look. So these are all topics that could be coming up, like, where do you need to change and transform? And um, maybe some of the transformation or that needs to happen is in your values, or the other piece could be, are your goals based on your values? Are they based on your values? So that could be bringing that in. And then it brings in the energy of Pisces, which I've been talking about Pisces already quite a bit. But Pisces is the subconscious mind. And I really think that this moon is so much about this energy of working on the inner self, like the subconscious mind versus the conscious mind, the thinking mind, the mind where there's like all these thoughts that are there. And then the Sagittarius is the energy of maybe like the super conscious. Or in Ifa, we talk about the Ori. And so there's the Ori, which is in us. It's this energy of the consciousness within us. And the Ori is also, connected to the subconscious mind, but the Ori is how we communicate with the higher wisdom of the universe. So I think that this moon is all about kind of like getting those parts of our inner world aligned. Um, and Pisces is also very spiritual, so maybe some of that's coming in. I want to encourage you all to um, commit yourself to some affirmations, and commit yourself to what is it that you're going to do for your mental health and your mind health. I think that that is so, so important with this full moon. And also commit yourself to what is the leading guiding wisdom that you're going to lean into. Is there some wisdom text that you want to look at? Um, is there, some teachings that you had once been listening to, and you stopped listening to them or reading them, and you need to go back to it? Maybe this is a time to actually tell yourself, I'm going to pick up a book, the actual physical book, and hold it in your hand and read it. This might be a good time to go back to that kind of practice. Also, I think that this is a full moon that could bring up the importance of journaling. Gemini has to do with writing, but journaling also helps with the mental health. If you have a mental block around journaling, then, journal and just tear it up. You don't have to keep your journal entries, but it's more about um, how it brings this ease and this calm. And then oftentimes when we're journaling, we can there's this wisdom of Gemini, of Sagittarius. This wisdom will come to us as we are journaling. And so the greatest practice I think that you could take as a part of this full moon is to journal, gratitude journal. And let's see here. The full moon, the moon goes into Gemini on the 13th at 7:39 a.m. Eastern time. So on the 13th, excuse me, it goes in there at 12:21 p.m. Eastern time. I was at the wrong spot. So it goes into Gemini on the 13th, midday here in the Eastern time zone. and it'll be there until 9:32 a.m. Eastern time on the 15th. In those 3 days, I recommend that you journal, 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 gratitude journal. Make that your number one practice. This is my recommendation. Make that your number one practice during this full moon. And also there is this energy of sort of like a reality check that is coming through. It's I think this is a little bit of a rough moon. I do. It's not the roughest moon that I've ever seen, but I always say the full moon is so beautiful because sometimes it could just be so rough. um, so I think that what is I forgot what I was going to tell y'all. Oh, reality check. So that could feel a little bit. That could be a part of the moon that's a little bit rough. It's kind of like, oh my gosh, this is uh, this is a hard pill to swallow. But the thing about any reality check that you get, and you could be feeling it now. Today is the 11th. You could definitely be feeling it now. And you could feel it 2 weeks after the moon. The beauty of this reality check is that it will help you to be more successful. It will help you to be more enduring. I will say one of the things that I think is so important is to remind yourself to be patient. We're not going to try to cultivate patience. I really do believe when people say they want more patience, it could bring some long suffering. So we're not asking for more patience. We're just committed to being patient. We're committed to not rushing. And that might be the message that you get in this full moon. It's like, hey, you need to be patient. You need to make sure that you're doing things decent and in order. You're going to take it step by step by step. Yeah, you need to be positive. You need to be inspired. And by the same token, I need you to be real. I need you to like really, what is it that you need to do? Be inspired to take hard steps. Be inspired to do things that feel hard. Because when you are inspired to do things that are hard, but they are in the direction where you want to go, then you're going to be inching your way in that direction. Okay. Or just whatever the reality check is. But there definitely is this energy of like, all right, y'all been asleep. Wake up. Wake up. We got some stuff we need to do. I know you came up with one game plan. We're getting ready to make sure this thing is good to go. So let's look at it line by line. And we're going to see what needs to stay and what needs to go. So, yes, I'm committed to not rushing. Yes, fire. Our fire queen is here. Goddess dopamine for my brain, mental clarity. Yes, goddess dopamine. Dopamine is so, so important. I was talking to somebody and I was like, I remember when I used to work for the Bureau of Alcohol and Drug Abuse Services and found out why crack is so addictive. It replaces the dopamine. There's something in the crack that is like dopamine, the structure of dopamine. And that's why people get addicted to it. Because once you start taking um, a hormone, your body is going to decrease the amount that it makes. And or if you take it in from the outside. It's one of the reasons I don't take melatonin, because if you start replacing melatonin from the outside, and I'm not telling anybody don't take it, but I'm just saying once I learned, hey, if I take melatonin, my body's gonna be like, oh, we don't need to make as much because she's replacing it. And so yeah, those hormones are super serious, and we have to find ways to naturally raise it. And so I love that you brought up dopamine, Daisy, because yeah, it's important, but we want to do it naturally. And I think that this actually, now that I think about it, this is a really good moon for that. Gemini and Sagittarius, hilarious signs. Hilarious. Let me say this, because I did start off kind of feeling like I'm so done with mutable energy right now. But let me tell you what I do like about it. It really is some fun energy, and that's something I want y'all to open yourselves up to. Let's go down this dopamine um, vein. Laugh. That is one of the greatest remedies for Gemini and Sagittarius. They are jokesters. Some of the greatest comics of all times are Geminis. A lot of comics have that Sag energy because not a lot, but some of them can really see the big picture and speak to what's happening. And it's all this wisdom, but they have you taking it in through laughter, right? So, yeah, have fun. How can you open yourself up to really enjoying life? Sagittarius is this energy of abundance, you know? So it's kind of like, what is it that you need to do to open yourself up to having more abundance? And it might be taking better care of your mental health, taking care of your mind. That would allow you to be in a state where you can open yourself up to being more abundant. Pisces is in this, and Pisces is, I think Pisces are funny. Personally, I'm a Pisces. I think I'm funny. A lot of times I meet Pisces who are a little bit jokey. Um, but Pisces is like this fantasy. So it's kind of like when we're using fantasy for our benefit, that is great. But if we're using it and, we're just escaping from everything and nothing is getting done, then that's when Pisces is like, no, we got to do Pisces different right now. So I love that these signs can bring in this energy of flow and fun. So that might be something that the full moon is also opening up for everybody. Saturn being in Pisces is going to be kind of like, well, did you get your work done before you know how mama used to be like, did you get your chores done? If you got your chores done, then you can go outside and play with your friends. But if you didn't get your chores done, forget about it. No fun till you go, till you get your chores done. So, Saturn be doing what Saturn does. Um, okay, so yes, let's continue to talk about this Pisces. So Pisces is healing energy. And so, this full moon is bringing in this like in multiple ways, this energy around healing. Another one that I like to talk about is it's almost like spiritualizing your mind. It's how do you get your spiritual mind to work with your logical mind? I think that's something that is key for this full moon, is getting the spiritual mind lined up with the logical mind. And in my mind, it's like this. Yeah, I get all these spiritual downloads. And then it's almost like there's another part of my brain that kicks on and I can come up with a plan. I can see the steps I need to take. It's like I have all these logical thoughts that is, oh, here it is. Pisces is the imagination, but you have to find a way to get what's in your imagination out. And a lot of times we can do that through Gemini, because Gemini is going to write it down. That's Gemini. Gemini is all about writing it down. Gemini is logical. And, like I said, we have Aquarius in this moon. So we have this thinking mind. And it's kind of like you can see how to, all the little steps that, I kind of see Gemini as like this energy if it wants to put together a puzzle. Now, it may not be 500 pieces. Now, that might be a little bit more Sagittarius. But Gemini is even working with the hands too. Now that I think about the puzzle thing, but it's like all these little pieces that you can just start putting together. But you just get one little piece of puzzle at a time, and then you got to see where do you put it there, right? So it's like Pisces gives the vision, or not the vision, but it's like it's in my imagination. And we'll say that Gemini gets all the little puzzle pieces. And then Sagittarius, Well, we really can't skip Virgo because it's in this mix too, but there's nothing in Virgo right now. Well, Mercury rules Virgo. Mercury rules Virgo. So we can bring Virgo into this. Virgo comes up with perhaps like the list of all the things that we need to do around, putting these pieces together. And then the end result and Virgo's actually going to do all the hard work because Virgo's willing to do things that other people are not willing to do. And then Sagittarius is that vision. It's like, oh, I put it all together and I can actually see it. And so that's how it goes from being in the imagination, just using the mutable signs, because there's other things in there, the other signs, they have their parts, but just using the mutable signs. And so since we have Pisces as a part of this, it's kind of like maybe you're going to really see. I have been saying it here lately, the dream. What do you dream of? And this Gemini moon is like, all right, we got the dream. So now let's get the bits and bots. Let's get something logical around this thing so that we can actually, bring it into reality. So the astrology is very interesting for us Cancers. Yeah, first of all, Cancerians will always feel a new moon. Cancerians and Leos, you always, always, always feel the moon, the new moon, the full moon. Those are like major events for you all because your planets do not retrograde. So the way that y'all get change is through these moons. But unfortunately, you feel every last one of them. I shouldn't say unfortunately. If it doesn't feel good, then it's kind of like, oops, yeah, I know that doesn't feel super good. But then, of course, for the moons that feel amazing, then of course y'all feel amazing. Um, so let's see here. Is there anything else going on? This is a very wow, this is a very active moon. And I love astrology. I love knowing that astrology is working in our favor. It is not working against us. It's not happening to us. And this is why we talk about it so that you can come up with what is it that you want to do. Or the other part is, one of the main pieces of my goddess framework is awareness. You want to be aware that this full moon is coming, even if you don't know what it's yet bringing you. You want to be aware so that you can see it and know what to do next with it. All right. I do think it's so fascinating that Mercury is going direct. Let's see here. Mercury is actually still retrograde at the time of the full moon, and then it goes direct a little while later, goes direct a little later in the day. So, at the time of the full moon, Mercury is actually still retrograde. So, one thing I can tell y'all is this is a reflective full moon. This moon is asking you to think about all things Gemini, which I've talked about today. It's even asking you to think about Virgo things. So some of the things that could be coming up would be uh, health and wellness, day-to-day routines and operation. Now, talk about needing to bring something from out of the imagination and bringing it into reality. So much, whether we want to believe it or not, so much of that has to do with your day-to-day operations and routines. Is Again, I'm in a moment where it's like if I quote something, I really want to feel like this is rock solid. But I'm just going to quote what first came to my mind is if you really want to know what you are headed to creating, you have to look at what you're doing day after day after day. And that could be one of those hard pills. Number one, there is never any need for judgment. There have been plenty of times I looked and I was like, "Oh, I'm looking at what I'm doing day after day after day. And this definitely is not pointing in the direction of what I desire." But I didn't judge myself. I just said, "You know what? This is just where I am right now, and I'm okay with it." And when I'm serious about where I'm headed, I'm looking at what I'm doing day after day after day. Sometimes manifestation and achieving what we want in life is very, very simple because it always requires action. That's another part of my goddess framework. Action is required. And so some of the action that is required is, I love calling them taking small steps, knowing that each step you take in the direction that you want to go day after day after day is, in fact, a quantum step. And that's why, this energy of Sagittarius, it's just kind of like have that vision, believe. More than anything, I want you to believe in you. I want you to believe in the truth that is in you. I want you to believe, I want you to trust yourself. That's something else that I hope that this moon imbues you with. I want you to trust you. If it feels right, then you're just like, okay, I'm just trusting myself on this. And if it feels wrong, I'm trusting myself on that too. All right. So what you do day in and day out. And sometimes, this Virgo is all about just being healthy. The things that you're doing from day to day, are they helping you to be at optimal health in your body, your mind, your spirit, and emotions? All right. So we want to be thinking about that also. And Virgo is also about work. And what are you doing to make money? Systems and operations. Are you doing things that make things easier for yourself? That is something else that could be coming up with this moon also. Um, there's also something in this moon about traveling. So, maybe that's a topic that's coming up for some people. Some people may be traveling, and it might be even abroad, or you're just doing a lot more travel than than you typically do. Some of y'all are just like, I need to do some getaways where it just helps me to, work on my mental health, because the mutable signs all have to do with traveling to a large extent, especially Gemini, Sag, and Pisces. I got to remember, how's Virgo? What does Virgo have to do with traveling? Maybe it's making the arrangements. I don't know. Let's see here. I think that's what I have for y'all on that. I'm a Sagittarius moon. My bestie is a Gemini sun, and my old man is a Virgo sun. Y'all got it all covered. Y'all got the astrology covered. Keita May. That's awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna go with, and again, I just want to show y'all my little tarot deck bags that Big Sister Felicia made for me, because I'm so happy with them and proud of them. She made me some other things too, but these are what I have right here. I want to do a reading at this point. I'm ready to go. I heard that. Where are you going, Felicia? I'm ready to go too. I was communicating with the sister from Trinidad. I'm like, I want to come down there. Hi, Micheline. Oh my God, this is so great. Good to see you. As usual, my last reading was absolutely on point. Your divining is so appreciated. Thank you so much for saying that, sis. I really do appreciate you, because I pour my heart and soul into every reading. There's no reading that I take lightly. I take them all super seriously. Some are easier for me. I just look at the chart and I'm like, oh, got all the answers. And then some, I have to do a little research. So thank you for saying that, sis. No plans right now, but I want to go somewhere. I know you're going to go someplace interesting. I love hearing about your past trips. Okay, so let's see, what do we have from the Oracle? Now, this reading is all about giving us wisdom. You know what? Let's make this about the full moon. Give us a full moon wisdom. Let's round out this astrology that we are looking at. Let's see here. Gemini, Sagittarius, Pisces, and Aquarius. Let's just see what the Oracle brings forth. I'm trying to see which goddess I mean, that's very eschew. That's very eschew. It's kind of hard for me. So maybe I'll talk a little bit about eschew, Alegua. That's out of the Ifa tradition, and then Sebek out of the Metuneter, the Egyptian tradition. Jess Bliss is here. Hey, Jess Bliss. Okay, this is an interesting reading. Oh, okay. I forgot I had on my because last week there was a the sound was off. So y'all let me know if the sound goes off again. Is scratchy or whatever. But I need to take those off. I'm like, oh, messing up my cuteness. Messing up my cuteness. Okay, so here's y'all. This is y'all's first card that I pulled. This is the goddess. I was looking for a goddess for this particular full moon. And did we get this? Did we get a goddess? Did we get a goddess? We got Pele. Okay. And she is the purifier. Okay, so this full moon, there's something about purification. And Pele has to do with Mars. And I want y'all to know Mars is a major player right now. Pele was like, see, where you messed up, Tyra, was you didn't talk about Mars and Venus being opposite each other. I did talk about them earlier this week, but she was like, I got you, boo. Because that Mars, it means something right now. Pele, the purifier. So it says that Pele is the Hawaiian goddess of fire who lives on earth. She is the original divine spark of creation. She is eternal life and creation, the goddess of volcanoes. Pele's unquenchable fire is the purifying force that provides balance to the desecration that humans are responsible for on Earth. Now, look, y'all, let me tell y'all something. I went to Hawaii earlier. They were like, we don't want Pele going off. It messes up everything for us down here. But I tell you what, I approve of this message. Because y'all know, right now, I'm a little bit disgruntled with the collective. She is righteous anger and demands respect for life and the planet. Pele is the mother of the most powerful elemental forces. Through her fierce, unpredictable Mars fire, she lets that which is unknown become known. Now, I told y'all, I do believe that that's something that will be coming up. Let's see here. Mars is in Leo right now. Leo has to do with leaders. So it could be something around you as a leader or leaders in the world with this full moon. I do believe that this full moon is going to be revealing something in the collective. Just because it does have that Aquarius and Pisces energy in there, it definitely is going to be something about the collective. Maybe even something about the church. But yeah, something can become known to you. Now, the other piece of this is sometimes there's something that we have not seen, and it being unknown is not helpful. It's not always bad when something unknown becomes known. But we still in Cat Williams 2024. He said all lies would be revealed. I say all truths will be revealed. That's how I'm saying it. So we still in his 2024. Who knows? This is mutable energy. Who in the world really knows what's going to be revealed? Let's keep our eyes open. Okay. Pele brings ultimate purification by the fire of destruction and reclamation. She brings the transmutation of old form into new. Her fierce power is feared because it cannot be controlled by human beings. Pele, I don't wish nothing bad on nobody, but I needed this message today. You can't control Pele. All right. Pele is the transformative change that leads to healing and reintegration into wholeness. She is the primal force. Woo! When Pele appears, expect the unexpected. Her purifying fire often destroys well laid plans and established comfortable form that no longer serves you. That might be happening in my world right now, as much as I don't like it. She brings the supreme opportunity to align with spirit and come away from attachment to the physical world and the past. This message was one that I needed. Maybe it's going to help me to get out of my little disgruntled space. Through her dismembering influences and rude awakenings, you are regenerated right down to your cells. And for all who have hung out with me for a while, we say to the great Mother Pele, with grace and ease. Woo, with grace and ease, Pele. With grace and ease. Okay. Ah. Hello, Bliss. How are you? It's all good. Thank you again, Micheline. Yeah, I went and stood at Pele when I was in Hawaii, and it is awesome. It is very warm. Let's just say that. It's very, very hot where Pele is. The air was cool because Hawaii is actually not super hot all the time. So the air was a little cool. But I tell you what, that earth was on fire. Yeah, it was definitely something to be respected. But it wasn't fire, it was just like heat. So hello, Scorpio 1180. Oh, thank you. Let me just go on ahead and do this really quickly. Let me turn it up a little bit. We got a new subscriber. Isn't this exciting? Where is it? Right there. Glad you're here, Scorpio 11. Is that 1180? I got to get back to the comments. Yes. Welcome, Queen. Yes. I love how everyone welcomes us. We are a community. That is something that wow. Y'all rock my world. I love y'all. Good, Daisy. Okay. My initiation in Hawaii was all about Pele. Well, I feel sort of like maybe when I do the reading for the community, I'm going to make Pele one of the supreme goddesses since she has spoken today. And it just feels too aligned as I see it. Yes. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're welcome. Woo! That was something else right there. That was something else. Okay. So did I turn off? Because I don't have on my headphones, so now I don't know. I'm like paranoid. Let me just turn it all the way down. That way I'll know there's no sound. So let's look at the next one. This is very, very interesting. Yes, Goddess brought you here. Brought you here, Daisy. Yes. Look at this. Bliss was not even here at the beginning. And Bliss, look at the cup I'm drinking out of. Rock star. I said all of y'all are rock stars. We are aligned, Bliss. We are aligned. Make sure you let us know what you're drinking. I'm drinking sparkling water. Okay. So we have an Earth card. Notice I didn't say anything about Earth. We do have one planet in Earth right now, and that is Uranus. Uranus is in Taurus. So now this one is the divine child. And look at her. She's sitting under a tree, and you can see this tree is the goddess. She has all kinds of spirals and all kinds of stuff like that. So that's exciting. Ooh, that sounds good. Felicia. Tangerine tea. I mean, these teas just be doing all kinds of stuff. That's amazing. So, we have the child, the maiden, the mother, and the crone. So this is the child, the earth child. And the name of this card is called Design. So this is interesting. This is interesting. This is interesting. The thing that I'm hearing before I read this is, there is a divine design that we're living according to. And when we live according to that divine design, that blueprint, then we can just trust it. That's what I'm going to say. We can trust it. Okay. The child of earth sits under the shade of a mother oak. She holds an acorn seed that, like herself, carries the inherent design of the form to come. All possibilities lie within this child for the eventual creative birth of form and the spiritual rebirth of humankind. Pure potential, the template of perfection, dwells within her being. So I just want to pause on that, because we talked about what does it take to bring something that's in your imagination out into manifest reality. So that's one of the things that got mentioned here. All possibilities lie within this child for the eventual creative birth of form, but it also talks about the spiritual birth of humankind, which to me connects us back to that Pele card, where Pele is like, y'all, we getting ready to have a serious conversation. But the spiritual rebirth. How is it that you can open yourself up this week for the spiritual rebirth of yourself as a part of humankind? This child is a reminder of the perfect design that is within you. Let your emotions and thoughts hold the highest frequency of who you are, letting your very DNA shift to release the old patterns and vibrate with your original blueprint of creation. And to me, that's what life is about. Yes, we're going to come here as children. We're going to have all these things happen. And then we're going to spend another part of our life trying to integrate it all. There's nothing we can do about what happened in the past. All we can do is compost it. There's an Odu called O'Shea. I talk about O'Shea on the regular. And O'Shea is all about taking that wound and turning it into wisdom. It's all about composting the hurts and the pains that we've experienced in our life and integrating it so that it becomes part of our medicine, the medicine we bring to ourselves and the medicine that we bring to the world, right? But it does take us, doing the spiritual practice, going and doing healing work. It takes that in order for us to transmute all of that so that we can access our original blueprint. And I do want to just offer this bit of wisdom to you. You're always ever presently connected to your inner blueprint, because some of us feel very, very uncomfortable because we know who we are and the world is asking you to be something different. So always know there is no amount of trauma that severs your relationship with your inner blueprint, that design, that divine design that is within you. Never disconnect it from it. We may have problems consciously being connected to it, but it will always call you home. And so I just want to go back to Mars being in Leo, because as I work to make sense of the world, I do not profess to have the answers. And so in my way of working to figure out, okay, when the world feels like it's not what you want, it is unfriendly, it is not working in a way that you thought it should work, what do? For me, I lean on my gifts and my talents. Don't ever let anyone take away who you are. Find a way to channel it. Find a way to connect with the truth of who you are and engage those gifts, those talents, whatever they are. If you are creative, do your art. I don't care if you get paid for it or not. It's not about that. When you are feeling like everything is off, the one thing you have is your gifts and your talents. The one thing you have is who you authentically are. And when you are not living in alignment with that, it will feel like hell on earth. This is outside the trauma because I know the trauma can be really painful for a lot of people. But a lot of people deal with their trauma through their gifts and their talents. And some of us are going to be gifted and talented in an artsy and creative way. Some of us will be gifted and talented in an academic way. Some of us will be gifted and talented in, creating organization, helping people organize their closets. I work with this one lady who her gift is helping people to organize their home. But she offers this notion of, baby, your home only need to be as organized as you need it to be. You need to figure out what's organized for you. And if you happy, then just that's good. We tired of this. You got to have a show home all the time. Now, if you have a show home, there's no problem with that because that's you. Some people, their gift and talent is, I have this one lady I do readings for, and she just loves interior decorating. That's not her job, but she loves it. And she just changes how her home looks from time to time, and it'll look like a show home because that's her gift and her talent. It makes her feel so good, right? So that's very important to understand when we start talking about operating according to your divine design. Let me take this down. Okay. Let your emotions and thoughts hold the highest frequency of who you are, letting your very DNA shift to release the old patterns and vibrate with your original blueprint of creation. And we did talk about how this full moon is going to do that. See through the eyes of this beautiful child and know that all opportunities are present in each moment to create your life anew in alignment with the inherent design of your divine essence. That's why I like to do readings, because sometimes I like the astrology, but I need backup. I just need the backup. I like the wisdom of the astrology, but I just need a good reading. I just need a good reading. Okay. Interestingly, okay, let me see here. Oh, beautiful, powerful love is here. I'm going to drop a link into the chat because beautiful, powerful love, aka Barbara Ohuninifa, has a book out on Amazon, and she sent me the link. Congratulations! I hadn't had a chance to reply. I am very proud of you, Barbara Ohuninifa. I ask you all to please consider buying her book. You will be supporting a Black woman. And this book is amazing. And if you feel like you want, you can send the book to somebody else. Let's see here. Hey, Queen, how are you? Let me take this down. I have switched up my morning beverage. Black rock tea is a must now. Love it. Clean mind and so many health benefits. I wonder if I can get my dad to drink that. But you still have your cup of cafecito. I love it. Okay, Felicia pulled something similar. Mother creativity card. Thank you for that, Felicia. Thank you. Yes, please take a moment. Here's the link, and I will put it in the description box. Consider please buying Ohunini Fuzz book. I got a chance to look at it and review it, actually. So, yes. Last card, interestingly, is fire. Fire. This is the fire child. This is interesting. This is interesting. This is the second child card. So for me, the child is definitely about having this energy of innocence and awe. And the child allows for more possibility in our lives. And maybe, actually Gemini is a childlike sign. So maybe this moon is going to be something about connecting with our inner child. The inner child will be a nice guide for us. So that's interesting. Maybe some of y'all have something to say about the child. So here is the fire child, and it says she's all about the creative spark. Felicia. Felicia pulled the mother of creativity. Okay, so the child of fire is the creative spark, the inner flame that is the essence of inspiration and creation that exists within every living thing. All aspects of her being are ignited with this creative force. So let this child's fiery spirit illuminate your inner spark of creativity that has been waiting since your conception to come full blazing into expression. Again, there's something about this full moon that is asking us to take something that is in our mind and bring it forth into, manifest reality. The fire child is here to assist you in allowing your deepest creative essence. The fire child is here to assist you in allowing your deepest creative essence be inspired and activated by her joyous, all consuming flame. Let your inner creative spark ignite your soul fire that it may blaze forth into your life and bring the fulfillment that you deserve. So yes, there's something about an inner creative spark. I really do think when she talked about inspiration and creation, this is a full moon that can help us with that. I just think it's going to bring a lot of good ideas too, and it could be you have new ideas or ideas that are coming to you about things that you need to act on, but it could be more of like thought ideas that are kind of like that help you to actually continue to work on whatever it is that you're working on. Kind of sort of like a quote that these words that may pop up in your mind, and it's just like that's exactly what I needed today to keep going. Or maybe it's an affirmation of some sort pops up in your mind and you're just like, that's exactly what I needed to know or to hear in order to continue working on whatever it is that you're working on.